Morrissey, and I'm formerly the Dean of Students at Phillips Exeter Academy in Exeter, New Hampshire. We're excited to be speaking at the SAIS annual conference. Our topic will be Student Safety, Newly Evolving Standards. Our talk will be on Monday, October 22nd at 1:30. I'd like to introduce David Wolowitz.
Hi, my name is David Wolowitz. I'm an attorney that specializes in representing independent schools. I represent many independent schools in the Northeast, and I do consulting work for schools throughout the country. Let's start by talking about the overview of what our workshop will do for you. The wonderful thing about independent schools is that they are independent, and each school has its own unique culture. For every parent out there looking for a school in which to place its student, there is the perfect school. When parents are looking to determine which school is right for their child, they look at such things as the values of the school, the educational techniques of the school and philosophy, and the demographics, for example. And there are many other factors they look at. And each of those factors combined makes your school unique. What may be right for one parent may not be right for another parent. However, when parents are looking to make the decision at which school to place their child, there is one factor that is common among all parents. They all want to be reassured that their student will be safe in your school. They want to know that whatever you do to enhance the well-being of their children is state-of-the-art. What we will do in our workshop will be to focus on how an independent school can reassure those parents, despite the fact that the standards of care are constantly evolving. We're going to help you with strategies and techniques and ideas that will help you stay ahead of the curve of meeting the standard of care to protect the safety of children under your care without changing the culture of your school and without adversely impacting how you educate those children. When we talk about the standard of care, we're not going to give you a legal definition. Probably the best way to understand it for purposes of our workshop is that we're talking about the way prevailing public opinion impacts expectations for how schools handle matters relating to student safety. Those public expectations, for example, the expectations of parents, have changed due to recent events.
The standard of care is evolutionary and nonlinear. Events occur nationally that enter the media, the cycle, and those events happen to change the laws. They also bring notoriety or infamy to different events. One example would be bullying. There are different expectations now, more recently, around bullying than there were in the past.
And our focus is not to encourage schools to have more rules, more regulations, because you can't have a rule and you can't have a regulation for every possible event. And if you did, it would create anxiety and paranoia. We take a balanced approach with policies and education of students and faculty and staff. Our goal is to enable independent schools to teach safely, but not defensively.
Our approach is a three-pronged approach. We focus on policies, protocols, and training education.
First, we're going to talk about policies, and when we do, we're going to provide you with some practical guidance. For example, we're going to help you with how to do an internal audit of your policies relating to student safety. We're also going to suggest that you consider the concept of a code of conduct for adults. And we'll talk about why we think it's a good idea and would be beneficial for your school and how to implement one.
We'll also focus on how you, as a student leader, can make behavioral expectations for students an educational tool. However, the best policies are ineffective without protocols to institute them.
With regard to protocols, we're going to recommend that you consider a compliance team for your school. Let me make it clear that we're not talking about an enforcement team. We're talking about something to help implement your policies. The nice thing about a compliance team is that it's flexible and it can accommodate the culture of your school. It can serve lots of different purposes. We'll talk about them in the workshop. And those purposes can include such things as receiving complaints about misconduct, investigating misconduct, interacting with parents, ensuring remediation, and documenting the actions that are taken. The final part of our workshop is the training of adults and the education of children on the policies and procedures and behavioral expectations. In many ways, it's the most important part. As you know, our focus is on balanced training, not just on rules, but on behavioral expectations. And our goal is to help each school create a culture in which problematic behavior is identified early so that it can be dealt with as an educational moment before it becomes more serious. There's many different educational approaches. We're going to talk about, among others, boundaries training. Also, how to create a comfort level with identifying and raising issues early. And Dan?
Given that we are at independent schools, there are as many effective training and educational programs as there are schools. Schools need to incorporate training that fits their culture and their mission. We hope that participants bring with them ideas and models that they found effective to create educational moments in the past and share them with other participants. We look forward to seeing you on Monday, October 22nd at 1:30.
Thank you.